Today, we're counting down 5 standout places across Greater Seattle, from Seattle neighborhoods to nearby suburbs, where bike routes play a major role in how people get around. One of the highest-ranked picks genuinely caught us off guard, so stay with us for the final reveal. For this countdown, we're looking beyond just whether a place has a nice name or a scenic backdrop. Bike routes work best when they connect to everyday life. Neighborhood streets, local centers, transit access, water crossings, and places where moving without a car feels realistic. Walkability matters here too, because a strong biking area often pairs well with short local trips, easy errands, and routes that connect people to the rest of the region. So, as we move from number 5 to number 1, listen for the places that combine geography, connectivity, and route-focused character in different ways. At number 5, Ballard brings bike route relevance from its position in northwestern Seattle. Ballard was once an independent city, and even today, it still has that strong neighborhood identity, with Seattle's official boundaries placing Crown Hill to the north. WalkScore gives Ballard a score of 83 in 2026, which supports the sense that many daily destinations are close together. For biking, that compact neighborhood feel matters, because routes become more useful when they connect homes, shops, and nearby Seattle neighborhoods without requiring every trip to feel like a long crosstown journey. What makes Ballard interesting is that it is not just a scenic Seattle name. It is a place where route logic is easy to understand. A rider can think in terms of neighborhood-to-neighborhood movement, local errands, and connections into the broader North Seattle pattern. The former city identity also gives Ballard a clear center of gravity, which helps explain why it continues to stand out when the topic is bike routes. It lands at number 5 because it has strong local structure, but the higher-ranked places bring an even sharper route story. At number 4, Mercer Island gives us a very different kind of bike route setting. This is a city in King County located on an island of the same name in the southern portion of Lake Washington, and that geography instantly changes how routes feel. Mercer Island is connected to the mainland on both sides by bridges carrying Interstate 90 and Link Light Rail, making it one of the clearest examples of an island community tied into the regional transportation network. WalkScore gives Mercer Island a score of 50 in 2026, which shows that its bike route appeal is more about connections and geography than dense walkable blocks. Mercer Island's ranking comes from that bridge-connected island layout. When a place sits between Seattle and the east side, the route conversation naturally becomes regional, not just local. Lake Washington frames the setting, while the connections on both sides create a strong sense of movement across the metro area. For bike routes, that makes Mercer Island memorable. It is not the most walkable pick here, but it has a distinctive transportation role that few Seattle area places can match. At number 3, Bothell moves the countdown into a suburban city with a strong accessibility profile. Bothell is in both King and Snohomish counties, which already tells you it sits at an important meeting point in the greater Seattle area. WalkScore gives Bothell a score of 87 in 2026, a very high mark for a suburb. That combination of city identity, county-spanning location, and close-by daily destinations helps make Bothell a serious bike route contender. Bothell's appeal is that it does not rely on being inside Seattle to matter for riders. In a region where many trips cross city and county lines, places that sit at the seam of multiple jurisdictions can become especially important in the route conversation. Bothell's high walk score reinforces that local destinations are not as spread out as people might assume. That is why it rises to number 3. It represents the suburban side of Greater Seattle biking, where useful routes are about practical connections as much as scenery. At number 2, Vashon Island brings one of the most distinctive biking environments in the entire Seattle region. Vashon is a census-designated place in King County, and it covers an island also known as Vashon-Maury Island. It is the largest island in Puget Sound, south of Admiralty Inlet, which gives it a completely different character from the urban neighborhoods. WalkScore gives Vashon Island a score of 17 in 2026, so this is not a pick about dense blocks or quick walking errands. Instead, Vashon Island ranks this high because the topic is bike routes, and its island geography makes routes feel intentional. The experience is shaped by water, defined edges, and a setting where biking can become more about the route itself than simply getting from one storefront to another. That is a major contrast with Ballard, Bothell, or Lake City, where daily connectivity carries more weight. Vashon comes in at number 2 because it shows that a top bike route area can be route-driven even when it is not highly walkable. And at number 1, Lake City takes the top spot. Lake City is within Seattle, the largest city in Washington and the Pacific Northwest. And it rises above the rest because the route emphasis pairs with a very strong urban accessibility score. Walk Score gives Lake City a score of 91 in 2026, the highest walk score among these 5 picks. For a bike route ranking, that matters because biking becomes more useful when neighborhood destinations are close enough to support regular, practical trips. Lake City's number 1 finish is the surprise we teased at the beginning. It may not be the first name people guess when thinking about Seattle area bike routes, especially with island settings and well-known neighborhoods in the mix. But the combination of a Seattle location, route-focused relevance, and that 91 walk score gives it a strong case at the top. In a countdown about bike routes, Lake City stands out because it connects the idea of biking with everyday neighborhood movement. So the final countdown is Ballard at number 5, Mercer Island at number 4, Bothell at number 3, Vashon Island at number 2, and Lake City at number 1. What makes this group interesting is how different the route stories are. Ballard brings compact northwestern Seattle character. Mercer Island brings bridge-connected Lake Washington geography. Bothell brings suburban connectivity. Vashon brings island-based riding. And Lake City brings high-scoring urban practicality. And yes, that number 1 pick really did make this ranking more surprising than expected. What did we miss? Which Seattle area neighborhood, suburb, island route, or specific biking spot would have made your personal top 5? And what would you have ranked higher? If you enjoyed this countdown, give the video a like and subscribe for more Seattle neighborhood deep dives. And tell us what topic you want next, whether it is parks, waterfront access, coffee neighborhoods, transit-friendly areas, or a closer look at one specific Seattle community.